everyone, as we prepare for Shabbos Nachamu, Shabbos Parshas Vaeschanan. I'd like to share with you two thoughts on the parsha, and then a thought that's not dafka on the parsha. Let's start with two thoughts on the parsha. One is one of the most incredible thoughts in a beautiful sefer of incredible thoughts from Moreno Harav Shimon Schwab. We know when Moshe Rabbeinu begs to go into Eretz Yisroel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, Rav loch, al toisef daber elai oid b'davar hazeh. Rav loch, it's plenty. You've spoken to me enough. The language of Rav loch itself is a little hard to understand. It doesn't sound like the words of chiba you would expect from the Rabbeinu Shalom to Moshe Rabbeinu, who's davening to go into Eretz Yisrael. There should have been words of pious in some type of a way. But it doesn't seem that way. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Genuk, it's enough. Furthermore, there's a Gemara in Saita, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis, Amar Rav Levi. B'Rav Biser, with the language of Rav, Moshe spoke. B'Rav Bisruhu, and with the language of Rav, he was spoken to. How so? The Gemara explains. B'Rav Biser, Moshe Rabbeinu spoke using the word Rav, when he said, Rav Lachem B'nei Levi, in Parshas Kairach. He said, Rav Lachem B'nei Levi, it's enough for you, sons of Levi. And therefore, B'Rav Bisruhu. And therefore, with the same language of Rav, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to him, Rav loch al toisef oid daber elai b'davar hazeh. And this Gemara is a pliya. First of all, was it an Aveira that Moshe Rabbeinu said to the B'nai Kairach, Rav lochem? Was there something wrong that he should be punished because he said it? Secondly, the language of biser, a besura, is usually a besura taiva. It's usually something positive. B'Rav biser, B'Rav bisru, that language in Lashon Kodesh is a very difficult one. And for this, Rav Schwab says an incredible yesod that really is important to any Jew who's oisik b'tzarchei tzibur, who's involved in anything for the tzibur of Klal Yisrael. Rav Schwab gives us insight into the complaints of the Adas Kairach, of the family of Levi, when they came to Moshe Rabbeinu. What was the job of the Leviim? When it was time for the whole Israel to move, all 3 million Jews now had to gather up their possessions on short notice and travel to another one of the 42 different Masais, the times that they moved in the Midbar. The Leviim had to run to the Beis HaMikdash and do hard work. They had to take apart the different parts of the Beis HaMikdash, disassemble them, cover them properly, in some cases carry them by hand, in other cases put them in wagons, and travel. Their wives undoubtedly were collecting children's slippers and pajamas and different things, getting ready to move, but the father was a Levi. He had to run. And there he was, taking care of the Mishkan. And he gets to his new destination. The family has to settle in, but no, he's a Levi. He's busy setting up the Mishkan. And that the Leviim did. They set up the Mishkan. As soon as the Mishkan is set up and ready for Avodah, ready for the Shekhinah, we tell the Leviim, okay, your job is done, back off. Only Kohanim have a right to do Avodah. Only Kohanim put on special big begodim l'kavod l'sefaris. Only Kohanim get to eat from the different karbanos that are brought. Back off. You're like yisroel. To most people, that would be very upsetting. Here I am doing all the hard work, all the labor, and when it comes time to get a little bit of the glory, of the joy of the people coming to see the Mishkan, I'm told to back off. I'm like one of them. It's very much that way when you're an oisik b'tzarchei tzibur, when you get involved in public things. It's very much that way. There are a lot of people who do a lot of work behind the scenes and really don't get proper credit for it. Don't get proper credit at all. And that's why the Leviim had complaints. Look at what we're doing, and look at what we're getting. It's not fair. And Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, Rav lochem b'nei Levi, you should know it's a big thing. It's an extraordinary thing. When you get to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu behind the scenes, you're more lishma, more l'shem shamayim than those who don't. And here you are, able to do all the work and back off with humility and let the Kaidim do the Avodah. Moshe Rabbeinu told them, Rav Lochem. It's no small thing, this which I'm telling you to do. Fast forward to Parshas vaeschanan. In Parshas vaeschanan, Moshe Rabbeinu says, I want to go into Eretz Yisrael. For 40 years, I nurtured these people. For 40 years, I went from one challenge to another, one difficulty to another. Now it's the time to see the Nachas, the Sipuk, to see them enter Eretz Yisrael, to see them enjoy the whole Sefer Yeshua, the people don't rebel once. And Moshe Rabbeinu has a complaint of Yesher, a complaint of, how could it be? How could I be that I come till here, and now I'm not allowed to go further? And the Rabbeinu Shalom says to him, Rav Loch. Rav Loch. It's plenty. What you have done is it's a besura to you. It's good news to you. What you have done is extraordinary. When someone does things for the tzibur to set things up, that's an extraordinary level of avodah. And therefore, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Moshe Rabbeinu, Rav Loch biser. Remember you said Rav Lochem to the people of Kairach? I'm telling you the same thing. What a beautiful thought to anybody who's Isaac and Tzarchit Tzibur behind the scenes. Let's move on to a second vart, equally practical, equally a vart that talks to our emotions. In the beginning of Parshas vaeschanan, Rashi says, "Ein kanu b'chol mokem ela loshem matnas chinam. Aval pi sheyesh lan tzadikim litleis b'maaseim hatayvim ein mevakshim eis hamokem ela matnas chinam." So tzadikim request from HaKadosh Baruch Hu matnas chinam, a gift for free. Moshe Rabbeinu said, I'm requesting this not because I deserve it, for no other reason. I'm requesting it as a free gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ramar Chaydruk said, hold on a second. There are free gifts. Free means by definition that you don't have to be a tzaddik to get it. If you have to be a tzaddik to get it, then it's not free. So, the question then is, where can I get it? Let me get a matnas chinam. Where are these matnas chinams available? So Rav Druk answered beautifully, and in my mind I can still hear his voice saying it so powerfully. Said Rav Druk, you can get a matnas chinam, but you have to understand it's a matnas chinam, it's free. As long as you think you're doing it, that's not a matnas chinam. If you tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, let my business succeed, but in your heart you feel you're the one doing it, that's not matnas chinam. You won't deserve the matnas chinam. I still remember Rav Druk saying in his tone of cynicism regarding human nature, he said, people daven to Hashem, they're really saying, Hashem, I can take care of my business, just make sure nobody messes it up. Don't worry, I can do it, God. Just no one should mess me up. Don't get in my way. If you believe it's all from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's a matnas chinam, there is such a thing as a matnas chinam. Rav Druk pointed it out from two psukim in Parshas Eikev, next week's parsha, a bonus this week, a vart for next week too. In Parshas Eikev, Perek Zayin, Pasuk Yud Zayin, it talks about going to war for Eretz Yisrael. You will say in your heart, these goyim are so many, how can I conquer them? That's the human nature going into battle. In Perek Ches, Pasuk Yud Zayin, one Perek later, after Klal Yisrael has conquered the Umas Ha'olam, we find that the people are saying, Kochi v'otzim yadi asa li esachayel hazeh. My power has done it. An incredible transformation. Beforehand, people realize it's all up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Afterwards, Kochi v'otzim yadi asa li esachayel hazeh. That's human nature. Afterwards, hard to see that it wasn't me doing it. Rav Druk quoted a Noida B'Yehuda, I believe it's Chelik Aleph or a Chaim Yud, who says, why do we say Ein Kelekenu before Pitum HaKtairas? in the Sosvar at the end of davening, or Shabbos, I believe everyone says it. Ekel Elokeinu first, Pita Makteris second. Pita Makteris is more fundamental. Said the Neid Yehuda. Pita Makteris is a zchus to be wealthy. Once a person is wealthy, he doesn't think, Ein Kelakenu, Mi Kelakenu. God is his shut, is his partner. He accomplishes and God helps him. Before the Pita Makteris is Ein Kelakenu. I can't help but saying that when young men leave the yeshiva and go out to work, as they step out of the yeshiva to go out to work, they know that it's not up to them. They don't know if they'll have a parnasa, what type of parnasa they're going to have. Mi yodeya. However, once they're matzliach, hopefully, in the business that they're in or in the profession they're in, then they think it's natural. People forget that it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ein Kelakenu. Finally, I'd like to end with a thought of my own. I hope you'll forgive me. As many of you know, I just returned from Eretz Yisrael. And I still have the feeling, the warm feeling of Eretz Yisrael, always an incredible place. And it's painful to me. It seems to me that the people here don't have the idealism that exists in Eretz Yisrael. Not at all. That we don't have the idealism that we should have. Over there, in Eretz Yisrael, there's a certain sense, an expectation, that if somebody does not learn properly, doesn't have proper Siddharim, there's something wrong. There's an understanding that Shabbos afternoon, if you have time, you go to the Beis HaMedrash. It's not that you go for an hour. It's that that's where people belong. There's a certain idealism. And then you come to America, and when I get here and I see advertisements for ice cream pops, imagine what it looked like in Eretz Yisrael, getting an American magazine in the middle of a war, and seeing advertisements with pictures of steaks, pictures of barbecues. How difficult, how painful it is, the state that we're in here in this country. Our focus is on Gashmias. Once in a while we do the Rebbeinu Shalom a favor, and we serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well. It shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. We need to have first and foremost our understanding that we're serving the Rebbeinu Shalom, that we're serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And once we have that, the fact that we could have Gashmias too is fine. But this focus, this tremendous focus that our society has on all the Gashmias that we have, on all the fancy foods we have, it's not good. It's not good. It's not the way that it should be. We could do better. We definitely could do better. And we should do better. We should look to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we have free time, to use that time. When we have time for one reason or another that we're not at work, to use that day in the Beis Medrash. When it's a time of Muhammad, shouldn't there be Yaitza with the 3 kapitel of Tehillim that we say as we're running out? Shouldn't the Beis HaMedrash be full at night, at least more full, during a time of war than any other time? It's painful. You know, the Abalei Tshuva in Eretz Yisrael, much more than the Abalei Tshuva here. In Eretz Yisrael, there's idealism. There's idealism. Over here, it's Parnasa first, ideal second. We need to change that. We need to change it very, very much. To be the people that we could be, the B'nai Torah that we ascribe to be. When we were B'nai Torah in the yeshiva, we went out to work. We went out to work because we need to go to work. Not because we want to go to work. Anyway, those are my few words. My few words of pain that I have as I come back to a beautiful community. A community that has such an ava for the Rebbeinu Shalom, an ava for Klal Yisrael. And we need really to get our priorities first. As the Novominsker Rebbe put it last night at the Asifa, he said there's an ikar and a tafel not only in Hilchis Brachas. There's an ikar and a tafel in life. You have to know what your ikar is. You have to know what your tafel is. And with that, have a hatzlacha. The ikar is what we do to put away for Olam Haba. The tafel is what we do that unfortunately